Okay, today we're going to start graphing linear equations on an interval. Now, we've graphed linear equations, but we've never done it on an interval except for when we did it on a number line. And so this is going to be pretty much the same thing. Okay, so what if we wanted to graph the following linear equation, y equals x plus 1, comma, x less than or equal to 3? Well, what does x less than or equal to 3 mean when we're talking about the equation y equals x plus 1? What if it said just graph the following linear equation y equals x plus 1? Well, we know the y-intercept's 1, and we know the slope is 1. So if we plotted those points with the y-intercept being 1 and the slope being 1, we would go up 1 over 1 to the right, and we keep going until we got enough points to graph it. And so this would be our line. So if we think about what the first problem said, y equals x plus 1, comma, x less than or equal to 3, what does this x less than or equal to 3 really mean? Okay, well, let's think back when we used to do number lines. Okay, if we just wanted to graph x less than or equal to 3, it meant that the 3 had a closed circle because of the underline, and because it said less than, then we would do an arrow going to the left, because this means everything less than or equal to 3, all the numbers that are less than or equal to 3. Now, if it wouldn't have had the equal sign, instead of a closed circle, we would have had an open circle. Okay, so now, this was the graph that we just had, where the y-intercept was 1 and the slope was 1. But what this is called a restriction right here. So we only want to do the part of the graph that is less than or equal to 3. So that means this part right here, we've got to do everything, the graph from here to the left. So this is the only point, and we can't go any further than 3. So we would just graph the part of the line that was less than or equal to 3. Now, one way to do it is just to graph the line and erase the dots, or there's several other ways to do it. Okay, so we're going to try to do this one right here. So this is example 1, and I want you to follow along with me. Okay, so this one, they want us to graph y equals 2x, but only when x is less than or equal to 3. Okay, so first of all, we always need to start off by figuring out what the slope is and what the y-intercept is, because the y-intercept is where we're going to begin. Now notice there's nothing being added or subtracted, so that means the y-intercept is 0, and this is the slope, but we need to make it a fraction so we know how much to run and to rise, and so we're going to make that 2 over 1. So if I put a dot here, and that means it's positive, so I would go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, and I could also go down to left 1 if I wanted to. Okay, so if I tried to make a line, there's my line. But this one says it only wants the values that are 3 or less. So if I look at mine, if I go right here, this is where 3 is. I can't have anything to the right side of 3. So this arrow up here, I cannot have, if that was an arrow, I can't have anything right of that. So I would have to go and I would have to erase this. So this is not going to be fun for some of us, and we don't like erasing. Actually, this is going to be a little bit easier for me because I can just do this. So I'm going to show you another way to do it. And this is probably going to be the easiest way. So, see how this number says 3? Hold on just a second. Okay, so see how this says 3? What we're going to do is we're going to take a 3 and we're going to plug it into this. So, if I'm going to make a little table, if I plug in a 3, what is 2 times 3? Well, 2 times 3 is 6. So that would be the 0.36. Now, it says less than or equal to 3. And because it says equal to, I'm going to make that a closed circle. Now, I need to pick a number less than 3. So let's just pick any number less than 3, and I'm going to pick 2. Okay, the function says to do 2 times whatever we're picking. So 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, so that would be the coordinates 2, 4. Okay, I need to have about 5 coordinates, so another good one to pick would be 0. 0 is always a good one to pick. If I plug in 0, 2 times 0, that's going to be 0. And so once I get some values, then I can just plot those points. So to get to 3, 6, I go right 3, up 6. And remember, that's going to be a closed circle. And then I've got the point 2, 4. And I've got the point 0, 0. Okay, now it says less than or equal to 3. Remember, I cannot be any further than 3, so I'm going to start here, and I'm going to connect the points going down, and y'all's line's going to be a little bit straighter than that, but this would be the line all the way up to 3. Okay, so let's try another one. Okay, so this time we've got y equals -1/2 times x plus 3, and it says x greater than 2. Okay, so instead of graphing the whole equation, I'm going to make myself a table. And this number right here is going to be the first one I pick. Okay, so I'm going to pick 2 and I'm going to plug it in. So in my calculator, or whatever I'm doing to do my work in my mentally, however you're doing it. If you do -1/2 times 2, that's -1 plus 3 is 2. So that's going to be my first point. But it says greater than, so that means that this is going to be an open circle. Now, also because it says greater than, the numbers I've got to pick have got to be bigger than 2. Now, I could pick 3, but because this is a fraction and the denominator is a 2, that means I'm going to get a decimal, so I'm going to pick things that are multiples of 2. So the next thing I would pick would be 4. Okay, so then I would do -1/2 times 4 plus 3. -1/2 times 4 is -2. -2 plus 3 is 1. And of course, that's going to be a closed circle. The first one's going to be open or closed. The rest of them are going to be closed. And now I need another multiple. And so I'm going to pick 6. -1/2 times 6 plus 3. -1/2 times 3 is -3 plus 3 is 0. So I'm going to plot these points. So I'm going to go to 2, 2, which is right 2, up 2. And again, I'm putting an open circle there. And then I'm going to 4, 1. So right 4, up 1. That's going to be a closed circle. And then I have 6, 0. So I'm going to go right 6 and then not going up or down any. Okay, and so then I'm going to connect my line. And this was my first point, so I can't go any further than that. And instead of having lines here, you're going to have not line segments, but you're going to have a ray, because you're going to have a stopping point here, and it's going to go always to the other direction. Now, I can go over and check to make sure I did it right, because my slope should be -1/2. Well, it is a negative, and I am going down 1 to the right 2 each time, so I know I did it correctly. Okay, let's try number 3. Okay, so this one says y equals x, and then we're going to subtract 2. So it says less than 6. So first of all, make yourself a table. Okay, this is going to be the first one we plug in. So we're going to do 6 minus 2, and that's 4. And I got to look to see if it's going to be closed or open, and this first one's going to be open. Okay, and then I need to pick anything less than 6. Well, I'm just going to pick 5. Okay, so what's 5 minus 2? Okay, that's going to be 3. And that's going to be closed. And then I'm going to keep going. So this time I'm going to pick like 2. If I do that, 2 minus 2, that's 0. Again, that's going to be a closed one. And I'm going to pick a negative one this time. So like -1. If I do -1 minus 2, that's going to be -3. Okay, so I'm going to start at 6. So I'm going to go right 6, up 4. And that one actually needed to be open. So let's see, erase. Need to do an open circle there. So, and then 5, 3. And then I had the 0.2, 0. And then I had -1, -3. And then if I would have connected that line, that is